Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome in to the virtual Talladega Superspeedway for tonight's race number 5 of Ron Morris Racing's Tuesday Night Thunder, presented live tonight on PGR eSports. My name is Dawson Wise, going to be bringing you through all the action, flying solo again here tonight, but happy to be here, and happy you are along for the ride as well. Happy Tuesday to you. We are almost to the middle of the week, almost to hump day. Here on this beautiful week. We've got a great night of racing ahead. 60 laps in the Xfinity Series race cars here at Talladega with no fast repair on the cars tonight. A stage break at lap 20. All the usual rules apply. tonight for Tuesday Night Thunder. We've got 4 different winners in 4 races. Matthew Baker opened us up with a victory. Garrett Maines won his way in week number 2. J.R. Miller is our winner from 2 weeks ago. And last week, Logan York joined the ranks of Tuesday Night Thunder winners as he got the victory here at Talladega last Tuesday night. It's been an excellent start to the season, a chaotic one at that, but it's been a lot of fun, and we're ready to put him back on the racetrack tonight and go at it for another 60 laps. And as we get ready to go green, just a couple things for you as we get ready to get under the green flag here tonight. Happy Talladega week to all you who celebrate. As a native Southerner, I tend to celebrate this week pretty heartily, as this weekend is the NASCAR National Series stop at Talladega Superspeedway, the Geico 500 weekend down there in eastern Alabama. And it's going to be a fun weekend down there. I plan to attend this weekend at Talladega Superspeedway, and that's going to be a lot of fun down there. So happy Dega week to all you who celebrate. And as we get ready to go green, no better way to commemorate it than Little Guy Series Championship race last night at Talladega. Tonight's race is at Talladega. Thursday night's race is at Talladega for the Intimidator Superspeedway Series. And then Friday, we wrap up the week with our first ever PGR eSports Friday night Superspeedway Series race. That will also be at the Talladega Superspeedway. So it worked out really nicely on the schedule that we are all Dega all the time this week as we get ready for the National Series stop this weekend. A lot of fun things coming up over the next few days. The next-gen cars will be run on Thursday night. You'll want to tune into that one with Austin and Baker. They'll have you on Thursday night. That's going to be a lot of fun. I love those cars. I hate that I have to miss it, but that's going to be a lot of fun on Thursday. We're in the Xfinity Series cars again on Friday. So these cars tonight, they'll be run again on Friday night for the debut of the PGR eSports Friday night series, and a lot of fun stuff coming up. We're about to put them on the grid. Qualifying is complete, and it is time for Tuesday Night Thunder once again. If you don't mind, tell everybody that you know if they have somebody in this field that they support. If you know somebody in this field and you want them to watch these guys go to battle, these gladiators go to war one more time, share the link right now. Tell everybody it is Tuesday night, and that means only one thing. It is Tuesday Night Thunder time here on PGR eSports. We're on the grid. We're going to get you to your starting grid in just a moment as these cars begin to make their way onto the front stretch of Talladega and begin to get underway here tonight. So I did not mean to bring that up. We'll throw that back down there and await the field to get on the grid for tonight's race. And with that being said, we will go into your starting grid presented by PGR eSports. Tuesday Night Thunder presented by Ron Morris here tonight. And on the pole, the defending champ of Tuesday Night Thunder, it is Andrew Navarro in the 44 on your timing and scoring. I believe he'll have the 42 aboard that machine tonight. So Andrew Navarro, 44 timing and scoring, the 42 on the side of his race car. And to his outside, it'll be Garrett Maines in the 12 on the timing and scoring. I believe he'll have the 1, the MCU body colors aboard his machine tonight. He'll start from second. Row 2, a pair of teammates of NBG Motorsports on the inside, the Blue Angels Chevrolet of Jeff Merck. To his outside will be the 04 Martin Sports entry of Matt Lee. Row 3, Jason Maines in the 1. He'll start fifth. It is outside one of our other winners this season for Team PGR. That is J.R. Miller. Row 4, the Matthew Baker, our season opener winner. Brand new colors aboard his machine tonight in the 5. And along his outside, it'll be McCullough Motorsports entry of John Mullahan. He'll start from 8th. Row 5, PGR eSports owner Michael Triscaro in the 34. The familiar Marathon PGR eSports colors aboard his machine. He'll start 9th. And then it's the KSR entry. I believe the lone KSR entry tonight, if I'm not mistaken, of Trevor Osborne. He will start from the 10th position. Row 6, Sean Corbett for BAR in the 45. He'll start from 11th. His outside will be Tony Cox in the 72. He'll roll from 12th. Row 7, PGR's Brock Westmoreland raced last night in a Little Guy Series Championship race. He races again tonight in Tuesday Night Thunder. He'll start 13th. To his outside will be William Schwindenhammer in the 17. On row number 8, there's the Little Guy Series champion from last night, Mike Davenport for PGR. He'll start 15th. To his outside, second to last guy taking a time in 16th. That's Jared Haynes in the 7. Row 9, David Drohan in the 42. He'll start from 17th, the last car to take a time in tonight's qualifying session. To his outside, it'll be Team PGR's Nash Brambilla. Row 10, Logan York in the 02. Last week's winner from Talladega Superspeedway, a daring last lap block got him to the victory at Talladega last week. He'll start 19th. Chris McCullough, McCullough Motorsports, will start 20th. It's an all McCullough Motorsports row 11. Kenny McCullough, the boss man over there at McCullough Motorsports, he'll start 21st. It is outside David Sheets, also coming off an effort in last night's Little Guys Series Championship race. Mark Vondell from McCullough Motorsports, he'll start 23rd in the 59 machine. To his outside will be Tucker McClendon in the 27. And rounding out our 25-car field shotgun tonight will be Jimmy Emos in the 67. Everything all said and done here in terms of pre-race ceremonies, pre-race festivities done, over with, and we are ready to get this one underway from Talladega Superspeedway. Again, I want to thank you for joining me. Go ahead and share the link. Hit the subscribe button. Help us grow this this platform, because we got a lot of really great things coming up here for you on PGR eSports. We'll get to some of those as the night progresses and as we get closer to the conclusion of tonight's race. We'll take you through some of the grand plans we've got over here at PGR eSports coming up in the next several weeks. 60 laps on tap tonight. A very cloudy day in Sim. Very beautiful day most places around Talladega Superspeedway today, but a cloudy day nonetheless in the Sim. Gloomy here at Talladega, but nonetheless we're going to put them on the racetrack and get them going. Stage break at lap 20. Stage 1 will be 20 laps. Stage 2 will be 40 laps, and we will find ourselves another winner here tonight. Do we get a repeat? Do we get a new winner? Who's going to get to victory lane tonight in Tuesday Night Thunder? Thank you all so much for joining me here tonight on PGR eSports. We're about ready to get the green flag, to get this one underway, and get things started here on a Tuesday night. Andrew Navarro, Garrett Maines bring the field into the trial for the first time, and they await the green flag from the flagman high atop this 2.66-mile oval. There it is. The green flag is in the air. We are racing for Tuesday Night Thunder. Almost disaster for Andrew Navarro. You caught it there at the tail end of the first lap as he almost got sideways trying to go up in front of Garrett Maines and block that top line, but no harm, no foul. Everybody gets out of it okay. Maines lifts out of the throttle, and we're all still rolling, going the right direction, and Navarro maintains the lead. He leads lap number 1. On to the Alabama Gang Super Stretch for the second time here tonight. It's Garrett Maines nosing out front with one of the best pushers in the game in behind him, the 04 Matt Lee, pushing hard on the back bumper of him. Maines is clear back to the bottom. The MCU body Ford Mustang drops down, but now the push will be on the top. Matt Lee with help from JR Miller, John Mullahan, and Matthew Baker in the 5. Again, some new colors aboard Matthew Baker, the black, red, and white Coasting Thunder PGR eSports Super Speedway Intimidator Series Chevrolet tonight. A brand new look aboard that machine. A couple of new cars with new looks tonight. Another one, the 89 of Trevin Osborne out there, fifth on the bottom. The Jack Shack Racing colors aboard the 89. As you see him, the white, black, and off yellow, almost a gold color aboard the 89 tonight. A little bit different look for him, but still the same 89, the same Trevor Osbornoth. And he's working his way to the front for now. Garrett Maines, Matt Lee. Drag race down the backstretch. Third line's working further back. That's Logan York. Matthew Baker going to take a step outside and going to bring Michael Triscaro with him up to the safer barrier. Go the 5 and the 34, but no help. There's no dice for them up there. They're going to have to drop back in line and try it again once they get some more help. Not much support in behind the rest of that middle line. About 6 cars are clear by 4 car lengths. Bottom line, 5 cars deep, and then a 3-car length gap back to Tony Cox in the 72. Maines leads another lap. He'll lead this time by on lap 3. As he and Matt Lee continue to trade the lead throughout the first 4 laps of this race. Everybody else, for the most part, still where they started. A few cars up, a few spots. Tucker McClendon, Logan York, Chris McCullough all up +3. Down the back straightaway again, Matt Lee will again nose that 04 out in front, getting a nice healthy push from the PGR entry of JR Miller. Again, some of these guys have a long, strenuous week ahead. This is the 104th lap of the week already for J.R. Miller. And a couple of others. Logan York ran in last night's race as well. So did Brock Westmoreland. So did Nash Brambilla. Obviously, Mike Davenport is our champion of that series. David Sheets, Mark Vondell. All those drivers ran 100 laps last night in the trucks at Talladega. So they are on their 105th lap of the week already, and it's only Tuesday. Third line is formed. Here comes Matthew Baker. He brings with him Triscaro, Logan York, and Chris McCullough. So the third line starts to get wound up. The energy starting to get up there against the outside safer barrier as they're 3 wide, 4 rows deep. Going to be 3 rows deep as Chris McCullough fades backwards. But the top line is still trying to push with only 3 cars. Bottom side, oh man, stack up. J.R. Miller just blew up. I think the 78 has blown a motor here in 3 and 4. He's going backwards in a hurry. And I believe the motor has expired aboard the 78 of J.R. Miller. Let's keep an eye on him. Yep, does not sound like that car is under power, and he will turn it left and get it wound down to pit speed. And with no fast repair, that's probably a night ender for J.R. Miller. So a really unfortunate break for the 78, one of our race winners this season, as he expires the motor aboard that PGR entry 6 laps into tonight's race. And it's split up the front of the field in a big way. You see that second group back there led by John Mullahan and Sean Corbett now. John Mullahan and William Schwindenhammer. That's this group back here. That group goes all the way back to Tony Cox. Then after that, you have another group that's back here led by Nash Brambilla, Mike Davenport, David Sheets, and Kenny McCullough. These guys are going to have to probably get in line to try to get back to the leaders. As that second group starts to reel in, the third group going to try to get in line and do so as well. Navarro is able to use that to go right back to the lead through the travel. He and Garrett Maines, a familiar duo on the front row, will go back to the lead, and lap 6 is complete. 54 laps to go in the race. It is 14 to go in stage number 1. We expect a pit stop before the end of the stage. 45% fuel aboard these race cars tonight, which means they'll have to pit somewhere around lap 15. So be watching for that pit stop in about 8 laps' time, as we will hit that pit stop right before our stage break. We'll see if anybody plays any strategy to try to potentially flip track position at the stage. That's going to be further back around Chris McCullough, Tony Cox, Nash Brambilla, and company. New leader at Talladega here in 3 and 4, Matt Lee, but Logan York wants it, and he's got Matthew Baker and Michael Triscaro and Jeff Merck all in behind him. David Drohan as well. He's +8 on the night, but York is now +17. Started 19. Now he runs second, make it +18 as the 02 Fanatec Toyota Supra will go to the lead for the first time. Will he lead that lap? Yes, he will. He led a bunch of laps in last night's Little Guys Series Championship race. No surprise to see him up front in this race after winning last Tuesday night here in Tuesday Night Thunder. No surprise. He's gone right back to the front, but right now it is all Matt Lee and Garrett Maines up front. They've been dictating most of the pace of this race, and they do so again here off of turn number 2, as Matt Lee goes back to the lead and jumps right on the nose of Logan York and allows Garrett Maines an opportunity to cool off that motor there on the bottom side of the racetrack. Not a ton of movement going on now that everybody is back to 2 wide. We tried 3 wide once, and we saw how it ended. J.R. Miller, a tough start to his night as he expires the motor. Okay, I shouldn't say it like that. As the motor expires on him, let's go with it that way. I'm not trying to fault J.R. Miller. It's just kind of the way I say it's the figure of speech I use. But the motor has expired on J.R. Miller. Let's go with that. Again, haven't been able to see a replay. Can't place blame on anybody, so we're going to just say the engine expired on him. The motor went, and he is likely done for the night. And he actually has called it a night here on lap number 9. Now, the good thing for him is he is locked in our postseason as long as he does continue to make the races, and he does get credit for the start tonight by coming out on track. So, the very least, showed up, got his minimum points, and his start required for the playoffs at the end of the season, and now can go enjoy his Tuesday night. I know that's not what he wants to do, but an unfortunate benefit going out early in this one. About halfway through stage 1 to be dead even halfway next time by. It'll be 10 to go in stage 1. We get back to the start-finish line. Jimmy Emos has brought his 67 machine to pit road. Unsure what the issue is there on Emos' car. And one other car, I believe, has lost the draft. That is Brock Westmoreland, and he has. So Westmoreland is off the lead draft, 24 seconds back. So the 4 car not off to a great start either. Maines blocks up again in front of Matt Lee, allows Navarro a chance to cool, and now brings Jason Maines into the fray for the first time. He'll be second on the bottom. Trevor Osbornoff will be third, and Corbett will be fourth. Tucker McClendon is starting to make his way forward. He's all of a sudden plus 10, the orange and white University of Tennessee colors aboard that Ford Mustang. About 9th on the bottom right now. 10 laps to go, stage number 1. Jimmy Emos goes a lap down. He will be bypassed by the field. Maines back to the bottom to the help of Andrew Navarro. Now Matt Lee waiting on some help from York and Baker here. They are separated. Maines doesn't wait long, goes right back up. Sees Matt Lee coming with the run, and now Garrett Maines. Is this more for temps? Is this more for race management? Perhaps the latter, as the 1 car has started to lane change at a little bit quicker pace as he gets back to lead, but maybe too quick. Here comes Andrew Navarro on the bottom. Navarro, the defending champion of this series, looking to go back-to-back this season, is yet to find victory lane, but has found a couple of good finishes and runs up front so far tonight. Maines back to the bottom. Again, Lee and York are separated. Brock Westmoreland, by the way, has also come to pit road. And so he will be lapped by the field. He's gone a lap down as well. So a tough start for the 4 car as well. 12 laps on the board. It means 8 to go in stage number 1. When we get back around to the start-finish line, this one is ticking away quickly as these guys continue to just log laps. And you may think, oh, well, they're racing awfully hard to be logging laps. Well, this is their version of logging laps. This is about as calm as it's going to get the remainder of the night. It's just 2x2, balance pushing, lane changing up front to just keep the temperatures fresh and keep that 1 car out front. But beyond that, not a ton of aggression early, at least for the next several laps until we get closer to that stage break. But they do have a benefit of there is a pit stop that will occur between now and the stage break. Garrett Maines leads lap 12. Now he drops back down, slides back down to the bottom in front of Andrew Navarro, and pulls that bottom line forward again. Lee again waits on the help of Logan York, who is doing a good job so far. It's not a lot of support behind him. Matthew Baker's all over him, but beyond that, not a ton of support up there on the top line. Michael Triscaro's jumped back up there with Jeff Merck and David Drohan, I believe is the other car on the top side of the racetrack. So 6 cars up top. It is 16 along the bottom. All the way back to Mark Vondell. Jimmy Emos a lap down, Brock Westmoreland a lap down, and J.R. Miller has called it a night. Garrett Maines, he's looked good so far. So too has Matt Lee, so too has Andrew Navarro, and so too has Logan York. They've been the top 4 for about the last 8 laps. Well, since Logan York has gotten to the front of the field. No 3 wide since we saw Baker and York and a couple of others try it, and that's when J.R. Miller lost the motor on his number 78. And since then, they've been back to 2 wide. But now the top line rolls. Here comes Matt Lee. With Logan York all over him, and he'll have to back off here in turns 3 and 4. Doesn't quite have the capability of pushing right now. The engine getting a little bit too hot on the 0-2. It might allow Andrew Navarro actually to get clear, and it will. Does Maines block him to the top? Not sure, but they're pitting behind them. Couple cars back here. Nash Brambilla, Mike Davenport, David Sheets, Chris McCullough, John Mullahan, Mark Vondell, and Kenny McCullough Jr. all will come to pit road on lap 14. So the pit cycle is underway. A couple other cars have lost the draft. That is William Schwindenhammer and Jared Haynes. So 7 cars on pit road. These 2 cars, I believe, may have already come to pit road. We might have just missed it. So the pit cycle is underway on lap 15. It was 14 for those guys. It'll be 15 here this time. I'd imagine we'd see the rest of the leaders right here. As the field will come off turn number 4. Imagine the only 4 cars you won't see pit right here might be Lee, Baker, Triscaro, and Merck, who are still pinned to the top side of the racetrack, but they may pit from the top. Matt Lee will. Baker and Triscaro will not. They'll stay on the racetrack, but everybody else is in. Oh, man, Garrett Maines slid it. Almost contact further back between McClendon and Corbett. But Lee, Maines, Navarro, Osbornoff, Jason Maines, Logan York, McClendon, Merck, Corbett, Drohan, and Tony Cox are on pit road on lap 15, now 16 for the race leader, which is Matthew Baker. So Baker, Triscaro stay out. They try to play the strategy. Now, unfortunately, the only 2 cars are going to lose a little bit of time here. They are still gaining on that group led by Mike Davenport, and that group with Garrett Maines is a little bit separated here, and actually some problems to get sorted out here on pit road. Navarro will file in behind Logan York, and that group is in 1 and 2. Matthew Baker, Michael Triscaro will come to pit road this time by, and they will wind their cars down. Triscaro quick headed to the line, but I believe he got it all the way down to speed. The Davenport group will catch this first group for sure with Sean Corbett. I don't know if they're going to catch this other group. They're going to be a ways back. They are gaining in a hurry, though, and they're going to be within draft range, and they're coming in a hurry. So the Davenport group is going to make pretty nicely of this pit stop. They're 1.25 seconds back of your race leaders. Baker and Triscaro are off pit road. We'll keep an eye on them where they come out. They're just now coming off, and they are separated. So not the pit stop that Baker or Triscaro wanted. They will both most likely be cycled past by our race leaders. We'll see if they tag onto the back of this second group, perhaps. They are way up here in turns 1 and 2. Triscaro, it'll be interesting to see if he can tag on. Baker should be able to, as he'll cycle out actually in front of the leader. So a great pit stop by the 5. The 34, don't believe is going to catch the tail end of that draft of the 5. Will absolutely be in the running for this stage win. Coming to 3 laps to go, stage number 1. York to the bottom. Lee blocks him all the way down. Garrett Maines goes to the middle. Garrett Maines goes to the middle, and Lee sees it. And now they're 2 by 2 by 2. And Navarro and Jason Maines see that. They're going to go back to the middle lane. Now back out to the top. They'll bring Chris McCullough with them. But Chris jumps back in line. Navarro and Jason Maines have no help, and they will get cycled to the back. And now Mike Davenport and company are going to have a pretty nice run here. If they can get hooked back up, it's Merck and Davenport. They can all get hooked back up. They're going to have Matthew Baker, Nash Brambilla coming in as well. And they're going to have a pretty nice run up to these cars in front of them. Triscaro unable to catch the draft. He'll be caught by Schwindenhammer, McClendon, Haynes, Drohan, and Cox here in just a moment. Kenny McCullough had a problem on pit road. He is currently 20th. Same with Mark Vondell. He's 21st. Sean Corbett had a problem as well. He's 22nd. Logan York to the lead, a familiar spot for the 0-2. He goes back to the point. Our winner from last week is back on point here in Talladega and leading with 2 laps to go in stage number 1. On the bottom side, it's the Jack Shack, number 89 of Trevor Osbornoff. He goes back to the bottom with the help of John Mullahan and David Sheets, a pair of drivers he's very used to running around. Logan York, he's getting jumpy. Now he's starting to get block happy. He blocks the bottom. Now he goes back to the top here in front of Matt Lee. Top line starting to form. Chris McCullough, the 94. Here comes the number 94 Chevrolet up on the outside of the racetrack. Bottom line trying to get it rolling right as the middle just tries to hang tough. Here come both lines around Logan York. That blocking did not quite work to his advantage. And here comes Chris McCullough, the side drafting getting more intense. It'll be 1 lap to go in stage number 1 when we get back around. Matthew Baker, can he make anything of this stage? He's currently at the tail end of the draft. Does he choose to just save his car instead? York offset with Lee, trying to keep it saved, trying to keep it straight, but the bottom line's not back to him yet. He's trying to just hold him off. The bottom line nowhere close to York, and he didn't want to move, and he doesn't right now, but now Lee almost turns him down the hill. York back up in front of Lee. He's blocking again. He blocks a 3rd time here off of 2, and this time Lee might have to pull down the racetrack. Jimmy Emos out of the way. Lee goes high. York blocks it again. York all over the place, and around goes Matt Lee. Trevor Osbornoff collected on the bottom side of the racetrack. No caution. We'll keep it up front for now. Couple cars wrecking in the back. We'll go back and check it in a minute. Still no yellow. Up front, it's all the one of Jason Maines. All of a sudden, the Lennox Chevrolet is forward through the middle. He's got help from Matthew Baker. Does Baker take a look for the stage win himself? Drag race all the way home for stage number 1. York with Garrett Maines on the bottom. Jason Maines up top. He gets hit. Garrett Maines to the bottom. He blocks. York has damage. They're sliding all over the place. Drag race to the line. At the line. Well, I don't know. Well, we'll see how scoring organizes them here because I have no idea. It was a drag race to the line. We'll actually be able to go back and actually kind of break this down frame by frame. We're also going to go back and take a look at what happened to Trevor Oswanath and Matt Lee on the back straightaway at the line. Wow. Well, that's about as close as you can get in a stage finish. And I believe they're going to give the advantage to the 5 of Matthew Baker. Matthew Baker somehow steals away the stage win from Logan York at the line. There is the margin of stage victory for Matthew Baker. So now we're going to go back. We're going to break down that entire last lap of the stage as these guys get racked back up. Off turn number 2, this is kind of where it all starts. And we're going to find a decent camera. I don't know. I'm not sure the drone cam is going to work for us either. We'll go up top. We'll go to the chopper camera. So we're going to watch all the way through 1 and 2. Watch this block by Logan York. And you'll see kind of the one I'm talking about here. Well, maybe not. He blocks here. Now watch this one right here. It's this block right here off turn number 2. As the cars unload, watch this block right here by York. As Lee goes top, watch York. Turns up the speedway and clips the nose of Matt Lee, and that slows him down enough that when Lee corrects back to the left, Garrett Maines is already there, and Matt Lee is going to get turned off the nose of Garrett Maines. Right there, they were 4 wide for a brief moment. Lee collects Trevor Osbornoff. They collect Jimmy Emos. And they go sideways. Both these cars collected here off turn number 2. And then we'll go back up front because it did not end there. They go 3 wide into 3. Baker with a nice push to Jason Maines. And now watch Logan York off turn number 4. I don't know if this one's a block as much as it is perhaps just a push from Garrett Maines right here that gets offset. Yeah, right here. Look at this. That little bit of offset gets Logan to the left. Now he's going to get him back to the right here in a moment as he slides across his bumper. I mean, he's all over him at this point, just trying to do whatever he can to get him the stage win. Garrett, wow, actually goes way up the racetrack right there. Not sure exactly where the 1 thought he was going to go right there, but nonetheless, gets into York, hooks him sideways. He gets together with Jason. York blocks back down, clips the nose off Garrett Maines' car. Matthew Baker gets in the back of the 0-2. And they run all the way to the finish. Logan York loses the back end of his car, goes under the yellow line. Jason Maines has to bail to the top. Now, luckily for him, he's got David Sheets. And they come all the way home to the start-finish line where Baker picks up the stage win. Right, this push right here by Chris McCullough. And there is your margin of victory at the line. Incredible stage number 1. But a stage number 1 that's going to take a few cars likely out of this race. And it already has taken a few cars out of this race. Multiple laps down on pit road. Sean Corbett, Matt Lee, Jimmy Emos, Michael Triscaro is a lap down in 21st. And a few more cars on pit road repairing damage. Logan York, Trevor Osbornoff, Brock Westmoreland, Tucker McClendon are all remaining on pit road. So stage 1 complete. Matthew Baker is the stage winner in a 3-wide finish. And now we will regroup and begin to get ready for this run to the end of the race. So we'll re-rack, restack for you at the line. It'll be 36 to go when we go back under the green flag. Michael Triscaro, I believe, might get the free pass here. As Osbornoff continues to sit on pit road, perhaps might be stuck a lap down here. We'll see if the 89 leaves pit road. And he does not, so he will go a lap down. As Triscaro gets all the way back up to 3rd. I'm not sure. He's going to have to go to the back here, I would imagine. I figured he would have gotten the lucky dog already. And yes, he will transition backwards. So we will re-rack, restack, and reset for you as Stage 2 gets ready to go under the green flag. We're almost halfway home at Talladega. John Mullahan, Jeff Merck will be on the front row. Garrett Maines and stage winner Matthew Baker on the row number 2. Jason Maines, Chris McCullough on row 3. David Sheets, Andrew Navarro on row 4. And then the teammates, Mike Davenport and Nash Brambilla on row number 5. Again, the cars that are laps down, in case you didn't miss that. Michael Triscaro is 1 lap down. So is Trevor Osbornoff. Jimmy Emos is at least 1 lap down. I think he might be 2 down. Matt Lee is multiple laps down in 23rd, as is Sean Corbett in 24th, and J.R. Miller is still the only car out of the race. And in chat, I see that question, how important are the stage points? Well, over the course of the season, if you don't win a race, so in this case, Matthew Baker, Garrett Maines, J.R. Miller, and Logan York, obviously in that case, they were all, well, except for Miller, all were in the mix there for stage points. So if you have not won a race, it can be the difference between you making the playoffs and you missing the playoffs, potentially. If you have won a race, it matters because there is a payout for regular season champion at the end of the season, and those 5 stage points, 5 for first, 4 for second, 3 for third, 2 for fourth, and 1 for fifth. They pay out over the course of the season. If you get enough of them, you can get that advantage over the rest of your competitors and become regular season champion. Right now, Matthew Baker, that's a big 5 points for him because he extends his points lead and would be regular season champion if the season ended tonight. So that's how important the stage points are. They can determine whether or not you're in the playoffs, and if you're already winning in, then they can determine if you're the regular season champion, and as such, you get a little bit of extra bonus headed into the playoffs as well in terms of points. 36 laps to go. John Mullihan inherits the lead on this, the first caution of the night. And here we go. Stage 2 is underway at Talladega. John Mullihan, great start. Same with Garrett Maines, but top line doesn't get rolling, but they are more connected. The 60, the 5, and the 94 will be the more connected trio up top. Let's see if they will be able to get more of a surge down the backstretch when they come onto it right here on lap number 25. Imagine they would all keep it pretty calm now with all the damaged cars that are out on the speedway. Let's see if they take my word for it. And immediately right as I say that, they do not. It's Nash Brambilla and Andrew Navarro up top. They'll go to the third line for the first time, really, in this race. I mean, we've seen one other group try it, but it wasn't for very long. They will try it here on lap 25, but no dice. They're going to have to jump back in. They need at least one more car to go up there with them. Mullihan continues to lead off turn number 4. It'll be 35 to go. Still 1 pit stop remaining at the very least, possibly 2 still to go, unless you can save about a lap or 2 of gas, in which case it'll be a 1-stop affair. Most likely 2. I mean, I don't think they make it in 1. Well, we'll have to wait and see. Merck side drafting hard. He's got Baker in behind him. Jeff Merck still looking for his first win in Tuesday Night Thunder. Aggressive so far tonight. Got a podium finish last week. Looking to get another one this week. Almost turns John Mullihan. They get disconnected. And now, just as I say that, Merck gets out to the safer barrier, and he'll go backwards. Garrett Maines now back to the lead in the 1. He'll go to the bottom side with Jason Maines. He'll jump right up off the bottom and in front of John Mullihan, who will square him up off turn 4 and lead a push off onto the front straightaway again. It's the father and son combo on the front row, Maines and Maines, Garrett and Jason. As they lead the race, it's a pair of teammates pushing them, Mullihan and David Sheets. The third car on the inside, a little bit different look for Mike Davenport tonight. The little guy series champ. Won that championship last night. He's another one of the guys that's on his 127th lap of the week already. It's going to be a long week for the guys that race Monday and race tonight. And a lot of those guys that raced both nights already also race Thursday and possibly could also race Friday. A really long week ahead for those guys. More of a marathon than a sprint. Maines back to the lead in 3 and 4. Mullihan up top with Baker. There goes Garrett Maines back up to the top side. He rotates and now tries to get Jason some more temperatures. The problem is the bottom line is not nearly as connected, which means Garrett's having to drop down there as much as possible to keep that line from opening up a spot for John Mullihan or Matthew Baker. He has to keep going down there. A couple cars leaning 3 wide. Westmoreland, Merck, now Triscaro will jump out there, come up, trying to get his lap back the hard way. Garrett Maines back to the bottom side. Mullihan now again leads the middle with Matthew Baker, but that third line is cooking a little bit of something up there against the wall. They'll need a couple more cars likely to bring that line all the way to the front now. Jeff Merck, as soon as he jumped up there, is back in line, and it's only Triscaro and Westmoreland, the PGR teammates, that continue to run up against the outside safer barrier. Mullihan, big push on the top side from Baker. He goes to the lead again. He'll lead into 3, and here comes Matthew Baker to his outside, the stage winner. Looking for his second win of the year, as he has already locked in the playoffs, but would love to go ahead and get that second win, get that points advantage, and potentially be in the lead for the regular season championship, in the catbird seat for that regular season championship, should he continue the momentum he's had up to this point. He's going to nose ahead to the lead here at the line. He'll lead that lap handily. 32 laps to go, almost halfway home in Tuesday Night Thunder. Baker top to bottom. Chris McCullough now leads the top, and he's brought Andrew Navarro to the front with him. William Schwindenhammer, Jaron Haynes lurking in the tail end of this lead draft, if you will, this lead group that's now starting to grow a little bit. Logan York, Tucker McClendon, Jeff Merck, Nash Brambilla, David Drohan, and others are wanting to come up here and race. Car off the racetrack. It was Drohan in the 42. He will go backwards, you imagine, here, as Chris McCullough may take a shot out front here off turn number 4, as Andrew Navarro's pushing him very well. Let's see if Baker's able to jump back up. He will not be. He'll be pinned to the bottom. And here comes Chris McCullough in the 94. Who's going to be the first to jump out 3 wide? It's Jeff Merck in the 60, but no help in front or behind him. But Nash Brambilla goes bottom to top and now jumps in behind Merck, and all of a sudden they've got some help. Again, that third line has a couple cars. Let's see if a couple more jump up there and make it a cavalry. Top line faded there in 1 and 2, and it allows John Mullahan to jump up in front of his McCullough Motorsports teammate in Chris McCullough. Leaves Baker on the bottom with Garrett Maines, Jason Maines, and David Sheets. 5 car doing a good job so far, controlling this race, controlling the flow. He's led a lot of laps already, and like I said, won that first stage. And coming to halfway, is in a really good spot to potentially win his second race of the year. David Sheets, bottom to middle. Schwindenhammer will go middle to bottom. McCullough had to lean out of line as John Mullahan has to jump down in front of Matthew Baker. And the outside line again starting to get a little bit disorganized. Navarro, obviously a very good pusher, but they're going to need a little bit more help than that. It is coming in the form of David Sheets. Merck and Haynes, the next 2 in line. Haynes will drop down, leave the top line for Merck. York, Westmoreland, Triscaro, the next 3 to be coming up. And Nash Brambilla jumps back out there. 2x2 all the way back. 4 rows deep up front, then a bit of a gap, then 3 rows of 2 wide, and then obviously Nash Brambilla is the last car in this outside line. Make it 8 rows of 2 wide. Make it 9 as Nash Brambilla rejoins the fray because Trevor Osrenaut is up there as well, as he has seemingly got his damage repaired and is ready to go back to the front. New leader off 4. Chris McCullough in the 94. He'll go to the race lead here in the Tri-Oval with the help of Andrew Navarro. John Mullahan continues to lead the bottom, but not for long. McCullough middle to bottom, and now he goes back to the point and is able to control the lanes. David Sheets now a lead pusher in the middle with Jeff Merck in support. Just over halfway. If they make it to lap 45, we know they can make it all the way to the end, but I don't see anybody making it that far. We restarted with about 36 to go. If you can make it to about lap 42, we assume you could make it all the way. It would actually be 43. But again, I'm just not really convinced anybody can make it that far. Chris McCullough continues to lead. Navarro trying to rally the outside line with the help of Sheets, Merck, and company, but McCullough will go up there and rally them himself. He'll jump up in front of the 44 and allow the 6 to lead the bottom. As big push coming to Mullahan here from Matthew Baker. He shoots him off into the corner and allows Mullahan to once again get clear for the lead. Mullahan, a guy that's been on a tear as of late, would love to add a Tuesday night win to his streak of podium finishes we saw a couple weeks back. Would love to add a win here on Tuesday to that total. So far tonight's led some laps and now has been able to work the strategy game to his favor and has jumped out front of this race on lap 33. But his teammates got something to say about that. Here comes Chris McCullough up top with the help of Andrew Navarro and David Sheets and company. McCullough will go right back to the race lead. 27 to go, about 8 or 9 laps until I figure you could make it if you could stretch the field out that long. We expect to see pit stops imminent here over the next 9 laps or so. As guys start to enter this pit window and start to think about coming to pit road. Navarro gets a nice push down the backstretch, but he stays about where he has been, and that's about the door number of the 94 now. Actually going to lose some more ground here into 3. Perhaps Chris McCullough going to be able to get clear. Not quite. Navarro rallies a bit at the end of the backstretch there and is able to get back to him, but McCullough off of 4, I imagine we'll be able to go back up. Nope, going to stay on the bottom and keep it safe. And Navarro will be back to him. Oh, boy, almost a close moment there between McCullough and Mullahan. And Navarro's going to go out and around. Not sure what Andrew Navarro sees up here at the front, but he doesn't like it no matter what it is. He's going to go from the front to the back. He jumps out and heads towards the back of the field. He's dropping spots outside the top 10 now, so he'll fall in line back behind Michael Triscaro and try to find himself, imagine, a spot on the bottom side, which means pit stops, I believe, will be imminent here. Chris McCullough uses that to his advantage. He goes to the lead, but here comes his teammate David Sheets with Jeff Merck and Logan York and Brock Westmoreland in the lap-down car of Michael Triscaro. Sheets to the lead. He'll get clear of his teammate. He'll drop down and leaves Logan York and Merck as the lead two cars in the outside line. As we come into 25 to go off turn number 4, still no pit stop from any of the lead lap cars. Quick note on a couple of cars. David Drohan that jumped down a line, he has lost the draft in 19th. Michael Triscaro and Trevor Osmond, we've covered, are a lap down in 20th and 21st. Jimmy Emos is 2 laps down in 22nd. Or excuse me, he is still only 1 lap down, but he's very close to going his 2nd lap down. Matt Lee is multiple laps. Actually, Matt Lee and Sean Corbett have called it a night in 23rd and 24th. New leader down the backstretch, Jeff Merck. The Blue Angel Chevy goes back to the lead. As the top line materializes again, Garrett and Jason Maines have jumped up there to help them as well. Sheets will surge back to the bottom, but Jeff Merck going to take his first turn out front here at NASCAR's biggest and baddest track. As the 60 went to the point for a brief moment there on the end of the back straightaway. Let's see if Logan York can get him back up there. One car coming to pit road. It is Jimmy Emos. He will go his 2nd lap down as the field laps by him again. With 25 to go, make it 24 as they pass the start-finish line again. There are 2 pit stops. We anticipate 2 pit stops remaining. If they can make it another 6 laps, we assume then they can make it on 1. Merck got middle to bottom on the backstretch. Michael Triscaro going to look 3 wide, but I think he might be going backwards, ceding that position to Garrett Maines and Jason Maines on the middle lane. And he will indeed be going backwards. Merck, Sheets, McCullough, and Mullahan, the top 4 on the bottom, excuse me. As Baker finds a way to get back up into the middle. He's now behind Jason Maines. Jared Haynes, William Schwindenhammer continue to lurk there back in 10th and 11th, excuse me. A couple of the PGR cars, Mike Davenport and Ash Rambilla, are 12th and 15th. Andrew Navarro has dropped all the way to 14th. Last car in the lead draft is Kenny McCullough in 18th position. Michael Triscaro is on pit road for his 2nd service of the night, becoming an increasingly uphill battle for the driver of the 34, as he will likely go a 2nd lap down after the pit stop here. Well, those guys starting to pit, I imagine that these guys up front not going to make it much longer with 23 to go. Let's see if anybody takes it here off turn 4, and they will. It's the McCullough group. Sheets, McCullough, Mullahan. And I believe they're going to be only 3 to come to pit road right there. No, Jared Haynes will pit with them as well. And everybody is down on pit road with that group safe and sound. Logan York able to drive through to the lead. Westmoreland going to try to find his spot right here in front of William Schwindenhammer, and he will. And again, now the pit stop cycle begins early enough that I believe it will be 2 pit stops instead of 1. So 2 stops to go here at Talladega. So not just the one, it's going to be this one and then another that the window would theoretically open with about, probably 8 to go, I believe. Or excuse me, no, 14 to go. Sorry. Leaders off turn number 4. Who will pit this time? And it's a lot of cars. Busy pit road coming up. York, Maines, Merck, and actually the rest of the lead draft. Schwindenhammer gets in too hot and gets to the back of Jason Maines. Schwindenhammer has caused some damage on the back of the Lennox Industries number 1. And unfortunately, it has taken his rear spoiler off. It might mark the end of his night. An unfortunate break for William Schwindenhammer and Jason Maines. We await these cars to come off pit road. Everybody taking left side tires. First to roll are York and Baker. Garrett Maines jumps both of them. Navarro's going to gain some of his track position back, and Jason Maines is right back out there as well. Pit stops complete here at Talladega for the second to last time in this race. And this field is, for the most part, now split here at the front. Here come David Sheets, Chris McCullough, and John Mullahan. The top two got away, Maines and Baker. Then Logan York got away with them. So did Jeff Merck. Jason Maines, Andrew Navarro bringing up the rear of this first group. Then Sheets, McCullough, Mullahan. And then from there, it is Nash Brambilla on back, and they're going to have their work cut out for them in keeping the draft. It's going to be awfully close right here. Though they've got, they've gotten connected, so I believe they'll be able to keep the draft back there around 10th place on back. So they should be coming up here to this group as well. One more pit stop to go. The window will open theoretically in about the next 6 laps or so if these guys want a short pit and get off cycle. We'll see if that's the case. Run to the outside. Here comes Jeff Merck. Matthew Baker, I don't think he'll sit behind Garrett Maines, but Maines sees it coming, proactively jumps up. They're going to split him in the middle. Garrett Maines going backwards in a hurry, and will have to now regroup. He drops all the way to 6th. He's actually going to go all the way to 8th by the time all is said and done. The McCullough teammates get split up, and that'll drop Maines even further back. Jason Maines lingers in that kind of no man's land. Then it's Nash Brambilla, Brock Westerland, Mark Vondell, Mike Davenport, Kenny McCullough, William Schwindenhammer, and Jaron Haynes that round out the now 16-car lead draft. Jeff Merck goes to the lead again at Talladega, one of his favorite car track combos here tonight. He finished well last week, looking to get one spot better this week and get to victory lane. And with 19 to go, he's in a really good spot to do so. But the stage winner, as Baker won the race last week. A little bit of a hiccup there. Apologies for that. Not sure what happened. That's not even an internet side. That is an OBS side, so gotta love it. I don't even think it actually went out. Technology. Back to what I was saying. So they are teammates. But again, Baker would just love another win going for regular season championship. Jeff Merck would like a win because he's trying to make it into the playoffs. Teammates until the end of the day. Let's call it that. Logan York surges to the lead, but John Mullahan is going to get split. Maines got into him. How did they make that work? Man, Garrett Maines looked like a pinball in the middle of the racetrack. He pinballed. He went to split Mullahan. It was a pretty good move by Garrett Maines. The hole was there, but he bounces off Mullahan, bounces off Matthew Baker, and keeps it going. Jason Maines emerges from that second group. He starts to come back to the front. All the groups are now back together, back to 16th position with Kenny McCullough. Mullahan, Garrett Maines up top, waiting on the help from Chris McCullough, Jason Maines, and Jimmy Emos, who's starting to come forward now 3 laps down. Logan York getting all he can handle on the pushes here from Matthew Baker. Maines pushing John Mullahan up top. And now only 17 laps remain in Tuesday Night Thunder. One car off in the back. It was Trevor Osbornoff, and he goes for a slide. He's going to spin it to a stop, and the bad night gets worse for Trevor Osbornoff as he went for a spin and goes sideways on the front straightaway. John Mullahan goes back to the race lead as the field laps down the Alabama Gang super stretch again. Still Maines and Mullahan, the front two. Logan York now the lead pusher on the bottom side of the racetrack. Again, one pit stop remaining. We imagine the window would open in about 3 laps from now. We'll see if anybody decides to short pit. By the way they're racing up front, I'm going to guess and say that everybody stays out, runs this one out, and goes till about 8 laps to go is when we'd see that final pit stop, what we would deem the money stop. We'll see. That's just my hunch based on what these guys typically do, which is wait until the end of the fuel tank and pit. When they're racing this hard, there's not as much incentive to try to short pit. We did not see much of it last night in the Little Guys Series Championship race, so I'm not imagining we're going to see a ton in tonight's race either. Mullahan back to the lead. He'll go middle to bottom. He'll flick the wrist left and jump back down in front of Logan York, who'll now have given him a healthy push in turns 3 and 4 and allow him to get back clear of Garrett Maines. Actually might push himself clear off 4. No cigar quite. That was awfully close for the 0-2. But nonetheless, he'll stay second on the bottom. You know, Logan York, if he'd gotten that gap, he would have taken it. Nonetheless, he stays in line behind John Mullahan and continues to try to push. 15 laps to go, a lap till the pit window opens, and now to the final quarter of tonight's race. Only the stage caution has come out so far. Knock on wood, it's been clean and green. Other than that, Mullahan back bottom to middle. He'll jump in front of Garrett Maines, excuse me. And now allow Logan York to go back to the point. Big push on the bottom. Matthew Baker, Jeff Merck in tow with a 0-2, who looks to go back-to-back and become the first repeat winner of this season. York would be a repeat winner. Obviously, Baker, Garrett Maines, Baker, Garrett Maines, and J.R. Miller will be our other repeat winners should they win. Baker went to go top. York went as well, but going to have to cede that position. With Matthew Baker getting hot, he drops back down to Jeff Merck, and now Baker leads again. He controls the race. This time by, the pit window is open. The pay window for these drivers will open up this time by, and anybody who wants to pit can, but I'm telling you, the way they're racing at the front, no indication that pit stops are coming. They're going to race this one out. It's about 6 laps until we anticipate the leaders on pit road. York, Merck, Navarro, Sheets trying to put up a fight on the bottom, but the top line very strong. Baker, Mullahan, Garrett Maines, Chris McCullough, and Jason Maines. Another lap car coming up for the leaders. That's going to be Tucker McClendon. He had some problems on the last pit stop and is actually already 1 lap down. This will be lap number 2 that he goes down when he gets passed by the leaders here in turn 4. Big moment there. Loose is Jeff Merck, but he gets it back together. But down the bottom line, very disorganized. It'll get multiple cars clear. Baker will go down there, but he'll have no help. Top line will surge around him. It's John Mullahan that'll get clear next. And after him would be Garrett Maines, and after him would be Chris McCullough. Mullahan to the bottom. Now the bottom comes back to him, so he timed that one pretty well. So he'll get a nice shove down the backstretch. Logan York finds a spot up. He goes to the middle lane behind Chris McCullough, and Merck will fill in on the bottom. Andrew Navarro as well jumps up to the middle. Mullahan Maines drag race here off turn number 4, coming to 12 laps to go and 4 laps until that last pit stop. It's getting down to it, the nitty-gritty crunch time, and that pit stop is starting to lurk. It's starting to sit in the back of your mind. You're starting to get to a point where you're thinking about it and thinking about it and thinking about it. You don't want to make a mistake. You don't want to speed. You don't want to slide through your box. You don't want to get disconnected from the guys you come in with and pit with, because your chance at the win would be done and over with. Top line closing again. Here comes Chris McCullough on Garrett Maines. So the bottom has all the push. Only 4 cars on the top side of the racetrack. It's McCullough, York, Navarro, and Jason Maines. They'll again draw even with the leader Garrett Maines in 3 and 4, but Logan York has to lean out. He's trying to get temps and allow Garrett Maines to clear back up in front of the 94. Coming out of the line, another car going to go another lap down. That is Michael Triscaro. He will go his 2nd lap down to the leaders, as this will pretty much end his race. Trevor Osborne will be next on tap for the leaders. That'll be his 2nd lap for him as well. David Drohan would be the next car to lose his 2nd lap in 18th. John Mullahan, Garrett Maines, like they have most of the day, they continue to lead down the back straightaway with 11 laps to go. It'll be 10 at the line. Maines back to the bottom. He goes back to the point position. As the field goes by, Trevor Osbornoth puts him a 2nd lap down, and Drohan next on tap. It's going to be a while before they get to him. Imagine the pit stop will occur before that. 3 laps until we anticipate the race leaders to come to pit road. It might be a couple laps earlier than that. But no matter what, they are inside the window now. Whenever these guys decide to pit, they will be able to make it the rest of the distance. 3 cars up top. Chris McCullough, Logan York, and Andrew Navarro. On the bottom side, everybody else. When do they decide to hit pit road? Trouble! John Mullahan is sideways. I was looking down at the pit counter, and Mullahan goes sideways and scratched everything because the caution flag is out. Right as I look down at our pit lap counter, of course, John Mullahan goes sideways and the caution flag waves with 10 laps to go. We saw them running nose to tail here off turn number 2 with Mullahan and Garrett Maines. Let's see if we can figure out where this one starts. Oh, an offset push right there. The right rear of Garrett Maines gets Mullahan all kinds of out of shape. He bounces off Chris McCullough, and he's along for the ride here right in front of the pack. David Sheets going to get hit by Brambilla, who then Sheets gets propelled forward into Mullahan. Nash Brambilla is involved as well. But other than those three, we might have gotten away with this. And nope, Jared Haynes has some damage as well in the 7. Hard hit to the inside wall for David Sheets. Hard hit for Nash Brambilla as well. And John Mullahan's got damage on his machine also. We'll go up top, take another look at this one. And I'll kind of show you what I mean by offset push. Watch the 6 and the 1 there, bottom side of the racetrack, right at the front of the field. And watch this push right here. He gets Garrett sideways. Garrett saves it to his credit. Mullahan just gets far enough offset that he slides to his right. And as he tries to correct it, bounces off the 94 and goes sideways. There you see Sheets and Brambilla. They're going to get involved. And watch this hit to the inside wall for David Sheets. Oh, man. Big hit for David Sheets. As he gets the inside wall a ton. And unfortunately, we'll probably end the night for the 0-6. We'll go to one more angle of it here as we try to find one. Go to the blimp cam. Actually, it was that push. I'll go back here. It was actually this push right here that kind of got this all started. Watch this push right here on the exit of the corner. He gets offset left and actually slides across the bumper. You see Garrett get out of shape. And actually, it's this one right here. He tags the 1, and now as he tries to correct, he gets all the way over on the right side, and that never works. When you get over on that right recorder panel, Mullahan goes sideways in the exchange, gets into McCullough, and it's on from there. As John Mullahan's night probably going to come to an end, same with David Sheets and Nash Brambilla, who all will likely see their nights come to an early end. You'll see that hit on the left side of your screen for David Sheets again. Bang, right there, a big hit. And it sends the 0-6 for a topspin on the back straightaway. So, with that being said, now the pit stop is done and over with. And we'll be able to race it all the way to the end. And it'll be a restart with about 6 laps to go here at Talladega Superspeedway. So, late race restart coming for Tuesday Night Thunder after we ran a lot of this race under the green flag. We will finish this one here with a late race restart. So we will get ready to re-rack and restack for you. Tucker McClendon will get one of his laps back here. We have the tail end of 1 lap down on this restart. Not sure who the lucky dog car is going to be, though. So it will be 6 laps to go at Talladega in Tuesday Night Thunder. While I'm at it here under this, the second caution of the night, we'll give some programming notes, just reminders. Thursday night at 10:30, back here on PGR eSports, is the Thursday Night Intimidator Super Speedway Series, as we bring the A-Class next-gen race cars here to Talladega. I guess the Gen 7, it's not really next-gen anymore because it's the now-gen, if you will. I mean, they're the current race cars. So the A-Class Gen 7 cars will be brought here to Talladega for some fun on Thursday night. That's here on PGR eSports with Baker and Austin bringing you through all the action on that one. Then Friday night is the first ever race for the PGR eSports Friday Night Super Speedway Series, also here on PGR eSports with Austin Green, as we take these Xfinity Series cars to these high banks of Talladega again in the PGR format on Friday night. A very long race, by the way, a 70-lapper on Friday. You won't want to miss that one. A longer feature event than we're used to seeing here on the Money Racing side of things. The Little Guys Series wrapped up last night with Mike Davenport winning the championship over there. Congratulations to the 55 group and Team PGR for locking up that championship. The Little Guys Series will now take at least a 1-week break. I think it's going to be off for 2 weeks and come back the first week in May. That's what I've heard, is that series will be back the first Monday in May. So a couple weeks off on Mondays coming up over the next couple weeks as the Little Guys Series takes its break and gets ready for Season 5, which will also be presented here on PGR eSports. So here we go. We are down to it. 6 laps to go in Tuesday Night Thunder. Thank you so much or spending some of your Tuesday with us. And joining us here for what has been a fun event so far, a strategy-driven event so far, but that, as most superspeedway races these days do, will end with a late race restart, at least one a late race restart. 3 green-white checkered attempts are available should we need them. We'll get to that in a little bit if those become necessary. Pace cars down. Garrett Maines, Chris McCullough on row 1, Navarro Baker row 2, McCullough on row 3, Westmoreland York on row 4, and Davenport Vondell on row number 5. 6 laps to go. Who's going to lock their way to the playoffs, or is somebody going to play spoiler? Into the restart zone again. Green flag is back in the air, and away we go towards turn number 1. Bottom side very connected early on in this run, and Garrett Maines got a great jump. He's ahead by half a car length. Chris McCullough trying to hang right at his right elbow along the door number of the MCU Body Ford Mustang. It's McCullough up top getting help from Matthew Baker. It's Navarro on the bottom pushing Garrett Maines. Maines leads by half a car length, still off turn number 2, but here comes the top. McCullough going to be the first one to get to the lead, to grab the lead here off turn number 2 with help of Matthew Baker as the field works its way down the back straightaway. And we are about 5 laps from when this would be official. 4 laps from when we'd be coming to make this race official. If the leader makes it to the white flag, this race is over. If not, we'll rack and stack. Top side, they split Garrett Maines again. But York goes to help him. Navarro goes to the middle, but how much this is going to really hurt the middle lane. York jumps out. Now Navarro and Garrett Maines have no help. They get bypassed up on the top side. Chris McCullough goes all the way to the front. He brings Matthew Baker with him. Can Kenny McCullough squeeze in that gap? No, he cannot. He'll have to stay up on the bumper of Logan York, who turns him. McCullough to the outside wall. Westmoreland sideways. Davenport big hit in the outside wall. Bunch of cars wrecking, and the caution flag is out again. And this one involves Garrett Maines. And it is big damage aboard the MCU Body Mustang. Kenny McCullough has big damage, as well as Mike Davenport. And this might just end the night for the race 2 winner, Garrett Maines, who had just gotten sent back there. This all starts with Kenny McCullough getting turned by Logan York. This is a little bit of indecisiveness here from Kenny, so I'm going to go back a little bit further. So you'll watch right here going into turn number 1. We're going to go up top to give us the best way to see this one. Baker and Chris McCullough. You see Kenny, he's clear, but hesitates, and now as he comes to come down, he's outside of Baker, and he can't, so now he has to stay up. He tries again right here to potentially fill the gap. He's still almost clear. If he had just backed up a little bit, he might have still been clear, but now he's still trying to get in, And here comes Logan York with a head of steam, and now as Kenny goes back up, Logan trying to get set up with him. That push right there is not quite going to work. He turns McCullough to the left. McCullough, oh my goodness, big hit for Kenny. Gets all 4 tires off the ground. Westmoreland, Navarro goes sideways. Wow, so there was more actually up ahead of this. That's where Garrett Maines is going to get involved. Davenport, huge hit to the outside wall. He blasts the outside wall. Logan York gets involved. Vondell, Westmoreland, Triscaro's going to get a piece of this. John Mullahan maybe got a piece of this there. He slides there on the bottom of the racetrack. And big damage, perhaps the biggest damage of the wreck on Davenport, Kenny McCullough, and Garrett Maines. Let's go to a little bit different angle and get another look at this one. We'll go from the blimp cam, and you'll kind of see what I mean again right here. So their run to the front, you see it up there on the top side. I mean, Kenny's clear. He's still clear right here. So they could have all 3 gotten down and avoided probably what happened. But Kenny, again, hesitates just briefly and moves back up now as he goes to fill it again. Now, see that gap is still there. If he backs up about a foot, he probably could fill that gap. Now, Navarro would have to lift, but he would likely be able to fill that gap. Kenny comes back up. And again, Logan, he's coming so fast right here. He's not going to lift. It's going to kill their momentum. So he tries to just push Kenny, and he cannot get square. He turns Kenny on the left rear and gets him sideways, and then it's on from there. Chain reactions its way forward, and now watch this hit. Tony Cox involved as well, but watch this hit for Mike Davenport. Oh man, blows the whole front end off the blaster Chevrolet there. You see Garrett Maines getting sideways. Brock Westmoreland's got considerable damage. Logan York has considerable damage. Mark Vondell involved as well. A tough break for everyone involved. And again, this is just, and I want to clarify, I am not trying to blame Kenny McCullough for this incident. It's more, this is just kind of one of those things that happens. Look, I've been guilty of it. Everyone, I'm sure, in this session tonight has been guilty of doing something like this, where you'll see that get clear, but it's so tight, it's so close, and that push is coming back to the middle that you just don't know. You don't want to take it and get run over. You don't want to get wrecked. So you stay up, you hesitate, and then you're like, oh, well, maybe I still can take it, but then by then you've thought about it a little bit too long. And again, it's no harm, no foul. I'm going to be honest. I thought they were going to make this work. And this is no fault of Kenny's. It's no fault to Kenny of Logan York. They just got roughly connected here. Kenny went back up a little bit, tried to square on Logan's nose. He's looking out his mirror trying to get square, and Logan, I can't imagine, expected Kenny to roll back up the hill on the exit of turn 2. He expected him to just stay straight and get square, and it all happens so incredibly fast here at these tracks that you just can't react to it that quick. It's no harm, no foul. It's no fault. It's just one of those things that happens when you're racing this fast, and when everything's happening as fast as it is, these kinds of deals happen. A rough racing incident there, and it takes out several good race cars. But one thing I do want to look at, and I didn't catch this the first couple times. Let's go on board with Matthew Baker. So he's up front. We're gonna back this up because we're gonna go real time. So watch this. So they're gonna come down. You're on board with Baker. So they're down, and now watch this. This comes out of nowhere for the 5. Oh man, goes left, right, sauce on it a little bit, and I imagine had to catch his breath after an intense save by the 5 car in the middle of the racetrack. Great work there by Matthew Baker to keep that car saved. And now we are headed to overtime. The second week in a row we are going to an overtime finish. We have 3 attempts available to us should we need them. Again, if the leader gets to the white flag, the race is official. We will race it out. If not, we will re-rack, restack, and try it again. Up to 3 attempts are available here tonight, and we'll re-rack the lineup for you as well. Jeff Merck in the Blue Angels 60. He leads. Chris McCullough is second. Matthew Baker is third with William Schwindenhammer in the 4th position. It's Jared Haynes 5th, Jason Maines 6th, David Drohan 7th, John Mullahan 8th, Tucker McClendon 9th, and Andrew Navarro is 10th. Excuse me, I think Navarro's actually going to be 11th here once everything is all sorted out. Couple cars trying to catch the draft. Tony Cox is back there credited with 11th right now. Logan York credited with 13th. Garrett Maines 14th. Nash Ramilla 15th. And Brock Westmoreland is 16th. Those are your lead lap cars. With 2 laps to go now, with Garrett Maines and J.R. Miller out of the race, and Logan York essentially all the way back in 11th position on the restart, it leaves only Matthew Baker as a former winner potentially that could get back to victory lane and get the first multiple wins on the season. Other than that, everybody else up front could win their first race of the year. And no one would want to do it more than Jeff Merck. Green flag is back in the air. And off we go towards 1, and the bottom gets the best start. And you got to imagine Baker having a win now behind his teammate. You got to think he sticks to the back bumper of the 60 the whole time. Push is still not coming to the top. The top lane's still not going. And Baker and Merck, this is a welcome sight for the 5 and the 60. Who's the first to go 3 wide? Nobody yet. Still nobody. Still nobody. They're still hanging in line, and it's all Jeff Merck up front. Jason Maines jumps out. He brings John Mullahan with him. They're going to split out 3 wide. They don't have a third car. And with no third car, now Navarro, I imagine he'll go up to the top side, help the lead lap cars. He will. But not a lot of organization. Now Navarro back down to the middle, and the push is still not coming to the middle lane. If the leader makes the white flag, this race is official. Jeff Merck in the 60. Can he make it the next 2.66 miles? Baker hangs a right. He goes to the top of the racetrack. Baker leaves his teammate and jumps out. And the white flag is out. The race is official. Merck with Jared Haynes on the bottom. Baker with Chris McCullough in the middle. It's Jason Maines topside up against the safer barrier. Who's got the best push? Who's got the best block in him down the Alabama Gang super stretch for the final time? Baker looking to become the first two-time winner this season. Merck, McCullough, Jason Maines all want to make the playoffs. Everybody behind them hoping to survive the scramble. Merck back to the back bumper of his teammate. Will he get a look? Will Jason Maines get a look? Jeff Merck may get a look at this one, ladies and gentlemen. Off turn number 4 for the final time. Merck goes high. Does he have the push? Here comes the 60. They wreck behind the leaders. Who's got the drag race all the way to the checkered flag? Who's got the help? I'll tell you who. The streak is over. Jeff Merck wins at Talladega. Finally, the 60 is in victory lane on Tuesday Night Thunder, a perfectly executed final lap. And this one is a long time coming for Jeff Merck. A fan favorite win, I'm sure. A guy that we have documented time in and time out, just the horrible luck that he's had the past several months. He had picked it back up. He'd run up front in this series. He'd run up front on Thursdays. And he kept at it. Just chipped away, chipped away, chipped away. Tonight, it pays off. Last week, a second-place finish. He was this close. This week, victory lane. So Merck celebrates. His teammate will celebrate with him here on the front stretch. Again, a win that is so long in the making. For the 60. We'll go back and watch the last lap again. So much happened on that last lap. We'll have to go back and take a look. So with Merck's celebration complete, we're going to go back. We're going to take a look here at what transpired on the run to the finish. So let's see here. See Jason Maines, John Mullan, and Andrew Navarro. They had a great run up top. But Baker jumped middle to bottom, headed to turn number 3, and it allowed that bottom to roll just enough. They got a lot of help here from Jared Haynes as well. Let me not forget about Haynes and David Drohan just shoving that line forward. And now calamity begins here off turn 4. Drohan gets into Schwindenhammer. Merck gets, a paper-thin clear here off turn number 4. Just enough to hang a right. And now here's where things begin to unravel a little bit in this front pack. Merck jumps high. Baker shows block one time, but then there's no way he's blocking that move. You see Drohan and Schwindenhammer, they come together again and wreck. Then Mullihan gets in the back of Jason Maines. They go down into Chris McCullough. Jared Haynes, man, he was going to have a really great finish. Ends up sliding sideways. After all this scramble, Mullihan's up against the wall. Navarro tries to find his way through the carnage, and it's a drag race all the way home. And Merck, about the only car that didn't get hit in this whole exchange, manages to make his way all the way to the checkered flag and to a victory. Then Navarro and McCullough and Mullihan come together. Oh my goodness, a massive hit for Andrew Navarro. Goodness great. And Mullihan as well. They both go up and over. And Merck crosses the line. Let's go back. I want to focus on that Navarro incident for a second. Now let's see what happens here. Oh, it's the 27 of Tucker McClendon. Runs in the back of the 44, then in the back of the 94. Turns both of them sideways, and now watch this hit. Oh, my goodness. And Mullihan gets hit by Osborne. Man, it's a big hit right there. Mullihan goes up and over. Triscaro is involved. So is McClendon. And Mullihan, I think for the second week in a row, goes upside down. I think he was upside down last week, too. But nonetheless, when it came down to it, it was Jeff Merck that managed to stay in front of everybody and come across the line first and cash in on a victory here tonight in Tuesday Night Thunder. We'll go through your finishing results, then we'll go into your post-race show, get some post-race interviews from Talladega as we wrap this one up. It's Jeff Merck that goes to victory lane tonight on Tuesday Night Thunder. He'll be playoff racing in this series again this season, this time by virtue of a victory. It's Jason Maines coming home second. Matthew Baker, another great run for him, a stage win and a third-place finish. He'll take that, and he goes third tonight. Mark Vondell, great run for the 59, quiet. I did not even notice the 59 got through that last incident. He comes home fourth. Great run for Mark Vondell. Brock Westmoreland recovers to finish fifth. Tucker McClendon finishes sixth. Logan York seventh. John Mullahan eighth on his roof. Chris McCullough ninth, and Andrew Navarro finishes in the 10th position. Ash Brambilla finishes 11th tonight. Jared Haynes in 12th. Tony Cox in 13th. Garrett Maines in 14th. David Drohan in 15th. William Schwindenhammer in 16th. It's Michael Triscaro 17th. Trevor Osbornoth 18th. Jimmy Emos 19th. And Kenny McCullough in 20th. Mike Davenport finishes 21st. David Sheets in 22nd. Matt Lee 23rd. Sean Corbett 24th. And J.R. Miller finishes 25th. Stay tuned. We're going to go get your top three for some post-race interviews. Stay with us here on PGR eSports. We'll be right back to talk to the top three of tonight's Tuesday Night Thunder. Back live from Talladega Superspeedway. We'll start with your post-race show and the post-race interviews, and we'll start with the man who finished third. He's our points leader coming in tonight, our stage winner from this race, and the man who comes home third in a wild last lap turn of events there, and that is the 5 of Matthew Baker. Baker, it's Dawson in the booth. You get a copy?
Yeah, I got you, buddy.
A chaotic last lap. I got to ask, we see you hang the right there coming to the white flag. Obviously, you and Merck working together. You guys are teammates. You know, kind of take us through, what was the game plan for you guys over there at NBG coming to the last lap? Why'd you guys separate there coming to the white flag?
Well, Merck came into this race and said this is going to be his last Tuesday race because he just is getting burnt out in the money racing scene, and I called my shot. I said he's going to go out and win the race today, and I mean, he was up front the whole race. Garrett and Andrew kind of dominated early, but once me and Merck got up there, we were able to really manage the lanes. A little bit of inexperience behind us and behind Chris to kind of seal the deal that we knew the run was going to have to come from the third lane. But I knew once Chris started to get that momentum back to us, it didn't really matter how far out we could get on the bottom. They were going to side draft, and I was going to run out of temps. So I thought I could just cycle temps, and then hopefully with them being 3 wide, me coming up, it just gave Chris no option but to have to stay in the middle, push me, and then I could pull down last second and try and really pull the bottom along to see if maybe Merck can repay the favor and get up clear. He did, came up just a little bit high on Chris, but I mean, out of 4, going for a win for your first time in Ron Morris in a long time, and I'm glad we could get him the win for sure.
Well, another productive night for you. You win the stage in a equally wild stage finish at the end of lap 20. You get those points. You also end up with a third-place finish. So you're going to extend that points lead. As we get towards the end of the regular season, still several races to go, but you extend that points lead. Just kind of take us through the game plan for the rest of the season, how that feels to kind of extend that lead and be in the driver's seat here for the regular season championship.
Yeah, it feels good. Merck's not on my tail now after that race. He got some good points there. But yeah, just these stage wins. I mean, this last one I just walked into. The week before was more of a dominating performance, but this one was I was like 8th coming to the white flag of the stage and somehow ended up winning it. But it was a lot of fun. This car just puts on such a good show. Whenever you have 25 cars, it's not too big of a field. Like, we enjoy big fields, but this just shows you how good of a racing it could be with 20, 25 cars. And I think just moving forward, helping the teammates out. Triscaro had some bad luck there tonight, so try and get him in a victory lane next week when we go to Daytona. I know he loves that track, and I love that track too. So try and repay the favor to him for everything he's done for us over here at PGR, and get him a win for MVG.
Well, a good effort for you tonight. 3rd place. We already said you won the stage as well, but you finished 3rd when it all comes down to it and the smoke clears. Another great effort for you tonight. Before we let you go and celebrate a little bit with your teammate, is there anybody you'd like to thank or shout out?
Yeah, just first and foremost, thanks to Merck and Triscaro. Merck and I worked really well up there towards the end of the race. Everyone racing around us. Chris McCullough going out 3 wide. I knew Kenny was behind me, so that was a fun move to take him along and Kenny along. Unfortunately, he got caught up in that wreck, but good fighting between Garrett, good fighting between everyone there, and that was a heck of a finish to the stage, heck of a finish to the race. Thanks for putting on the broadcast. Got a new logo on the car with the Intimidator Superspeedway Series come out Thursday. We got the next gen car for Dega week, and then Friday night we got the Xfinity car, a little bit longer of a race. So trying out Friday nights for PGR. It's going to be a lot of fun, and coasting Thunder and family watching at home.
Well, we appreciate you for talking to us here for a second. Congrats on the 3rd place finish. Go enjoy it. Go celebrate, and we will talk to you soon.
Thanks, brother.
Matthew Baker in the 5. He finishes in the 3rd position. No sign of Jason Maines right now. I'm hoping to hold out and get to him in a moment. But in the meantime, we will move to the man in victory lane tonight, the man who's going to be awfully happy about this one and have a lot of people that are awfully happy about this one. And that is the man that is in Tuesday Night Thunder victory lane. Sorry to cut you off, Merck, but it is Dawson in the booth. You get a copy?
I do, Dawson. What's up, bud?
Well, not too much. I'll tell you what. I said it when the race ended. This one's a long time coming. I mean, this one's got to feel good for you. We've noted the bad luck on here multiple times. You finished well last week, got a great finish last week. You come in tonight, you run up front all night, and you cash in at the end. You're in victory lane here on Tuesday for the first time in a while. How does this one feel for you?
Oh man, it feels great. And like I was just telling Garrett, I mean, I really didn't even when Baker took that run in the middle and moved back down in front. I was so focused on just getting him back to the line. He goes, if you get clear, take it. And I looked up and I was like, damn, I'm almost clear. So I jumped up in the middle line and I ended up getting the victory. So half of that goes to Baker because I wasn't even paying attention to the middle line. So it worked out really good. And yeah, my luck has been absolute garbage forever. And it feels really good to finally get a win over here on the Super Speedway side because it's been a long time.
Well, a long time coming for sure here tonight, but that weight's off your shoulders now. So what does this do for you going forward? You're up way high in the points. Now you have a win. You're locked in the playoffs. Now you've got that victory out of the way. The long-awaited victory's out of the way. What does this do for you going forward?
Well, it means I have to stick around. Actually, tonight was going to be my last race over here. I was going to go run an actual league season over on another league. And Baker goes, watch, you'll end up winning the race. And I was like, aha, yeah, funny, haha. And I won the race. And he's like, now you have to stay. And I'm like, yeah, I guess so. So, so I'll stick around. And I'm locked into the playoffs. And hell, we'll go try to get a championship.
We look forward to seeing where this season goes for you from here. Before we let you go and celebrate this long-awaited victory, is there anybody you'd like to thank or shout out?
First and foremost, my loving wife inside. I know she was watching the broadcast. U.S. Navy Blue Angels, the Navy, all of our armed forces. I know my boy Baker, he's still in the Navy. NBG Motorsports, Matt Baker, PGR eSports is on the rear deck lid of this car. Michael Triscaro, I know he had some bad luck tonight. So all the guys, PGR eSports, you guys up in the booth, Dawson, you always do a great job. And Ron Morris for putting this thing on.
Well, thanks for talking to me for a second. Congratulations on a long time coming victory for you. Go enjoy it. Go celebrate it a little bit, and we will talk to you soon.
All right, thanks, Doc. Hey, Jason also wanted to let you know that he's not going to come up because he wasn't feeling that great.
Well, no worries at all. Thanks for talking to us, Merck. Go celebrate it. Go enjoy it.
I got to see it.
Jeff Merck in the 16 you heard there. We're not going to get to hear from Jason Mainstein, unfortunately. I wish all the best for Jason, but again, a very spirited effort for him tonight in 6. We'll see if maybe we can talk to him here down the line at some point about his efforts tonight. What a story, what a race. Tuesday puts on another incredible race here tonight. I mean, just a fantastic race from start to finish. Only a couple cautions, an overtime finish, and in the end of the day, it's finally Jeff Merck's time in the sun. The luck has finally come back around to the 60, and he is in Tuesday Night Thunder victory lane. He'll be racing for a championship in a few short weeks. Again, Thursday night, the Intimidator Superspeedway Series, goes to Talladega in the next-gen car. So go check that out. Here on PGR eSports, Austin and Baker will have all the action there. Friday night, Xfinity Series cars at Talladega as PGR eSports presents the Friday night Superspeedway Series for the first time. A 70-lapper right back here with Austin Green on PGR eSports. And we'll be back next week. Baker said it. Great segue. Daytona International Speedway, the spot of next week's race number 6 in Tuesday Night Thunder. Myself and Austin should be back on the call for you on that one. What a great race it was. Thank you so much for coming out and joining us here on a Tuesday night, spending a little bit of time with us and watching some racing. I definitely appreciate everyone coming out. I hope you enjoyed what you saw. Subscribe to PGR eSports. Help us grow this platform. A lot of great stuff coming up on our side of things. Come back Thursday. What a race tonight. If you liked what you saw tonight, come on back. Give us another chance on Thursday and come out and enjoy some more wonderful racing here on PGR eSports. My name is Dawson Wise. Thanks so much for coming out. We will see you next time. And until then, good night.